All right, good morning. All right. So do the Bulls get a reprieve today? I hope not. And so finally we got a turn into this week's chop. Things continue to play out in the big picture as far as where we started with the buy setup here based on internals, a retest. Oh, yeah. I was doing good on that, Robert, remembering to put the charts up. Anyway, there we go. And so our internals gave us the buy here, right? And we got the move up, and we were looking for a continuation of the move down, just based on the damage done in the weekly time frame and of course the daily time frame. And we got the turn last week and then the little retracement and so on. So yesterday buyers finally stepped up in force and things set up pretty much the way it should, in the bottom half of this big red bar, give or take. It's never an exact measurement. And we don't look at things that way. We just look at how it about should be. And things finally picked up some steam to the downside. You can see, the little topping pattern right there, the pivot highs forming and the pivot lows, and, things back and forth here as where buyers and sellers are battling it out. But the tell, so we like to use the word, using it, the tell was this new high failure right up there. And then, you can see this as a little head and shoulders top, and then it broke. And when they break to a new high like that, of course, and I think I mentioned this yesterday in the room, which was around lunchtime. And I said, see this little hook pattern that's forming right there? Typically, they don't follow through. And it was a wide range bar. And I was like, okay, that's, a pretty big bar. And let's see what happens from there. If it actually can follow through, and it drifted back down to the bottom of the wide range bar and then again, lower high. And, at that point, buyers are like, it ain't happening. And they threw in the towel and down she went. So now we've got a new wide range bar. Wash and repeat, stay in the lower half. And now that it's made a turn like that, it can be viewed as an igniting bar, similar to how this one was, because you had a bigger pattern here and then an igniting bar, and it had a reprieve, and now a little, turn up and an igniting bar. And of course, it's supposed to break through this low. And it will not become a pivot. Well, it could if it stayed above that low today. But look, what we want to see here is either we get a little consolidation day there, 1, 2, 3, or just take it down to the lows where I believe it has to go. And ideally, I think eventually next week it comes down and goes through here, because look at our weekly chart. We've got this breakout failure, right? So the psychology of the pattern is similar here as it is here. It just looks different, but it's the same, right? Where it was consolidating. Well, this was in an uptrend, and it's different, but kind of the same anyway. It looked really good, green bar breaks out, and then, oh my God, what happened? And down it went and takes out the pivot. And now, this took out the pivot, and we get a turn. And so now we're looking for this to come down here. And whether it stops here or 4,000, or we don't know. We just know that it's supposed to go down at this point. We're just going to continue to follow what is bar by bar. And that's all we can do. All right. So SPX today, now that we got a down day yesterday with some thrust to it, power, the juice comes back. And you've got juice down here. And today's it's an options expiration. Well, you got the daily and I believe the monthly as well. And I don't know why these other aren't filling in. But anyway. 42.20. Anyway, down here, always look, where is it going to go? It's not going down there today. All right. Just under normal conditions, let's say the Fed doesn't come out and raise interest rates today. It's not going down there today. And we always look at these kind of things as being no-brainers. Right? You just pick your premiums down here, do a put spread, and you should go home fine. And I didn't even look up above because I know the juice has got to be down there after yesterday. But I would say anything above yesterday's high should be safe. Yesterday's high is 44.56. 44.60. Wow, there's some premium up there. $44.75. $44.75 above yesterday's high. All right, so we'll look at the future. So there you have it. Now, you want to get closer. Yeah, you're going to get some big juice here. But I always look at these things as where is it virtually impossible to go to? I wouldn't say this is impossible. I say it's highly improbable. Down here should be impossible. Okay. With the downward steps, even if the Fed rate is announced, the bottom will be in place. The bottom in place. I'll bet you a rum runner, as Dan would say, that the bottom is not in place, Robert. Not with these charts. All right. Rumor specialist perspective says more downside in your opinion. Oh, we're in agreement. So now we're friends. Rumor wars pushed back from Wednesday till this weekend tomorrow. Okay. All right. So let's look at where the futures are at. And they were a little higher, retracing into the bar, and got slammed to the downside. Now, that looks like a news thing come out. I didn't have the TV on. I don't know if it was, but it should happen after yesterday. McGraw, are you late to the party here, my friend? I said anything down here. Anything down here. There's premium in this area, and my opinion is it's not going down there today. There was even some premium up here, 44.75, which I don't think it's going above today's high, but up there. And I would be surprised if it even came down to 4,300 today. So, but could you get a bar like this today? Sure. You were crunching numbers with the gamma. It's interesting. So while you're doing the number crunching and the little, brain exercise, I'm interested to hear what they are. But, we just look at the chart and in 2 seconds, we know what's going to happen. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. All right, futures. All right. This would be a typical kind of bar if today was the end of the day. When an attempt to go up, and sometimes you get a couple of days down here, and the selling subsides for a bit after a big down day. Right? Now, of course, whenever we have that, let's go back to let's look at the spiders. Right? Just to make my point here. So we got this support down here. Right? What did this go? 436-ish, and came down to the low. Of course, it's going to bounce. It took out the low down there. Did it take out the low? Give or take 435. No, it didn't take it out. Anyway, it got down there. Of course, it's going to bounce. But big wide range bar is a momentum move in a smaller time frame. There it is. It creates a void, and it opens up the door to going back up there if it's possible. And it tried to go up there. It was up here this morning at close to 440-ish up in here, and it got slammed down. All right, so it had its opportunity to get up into the void. It did it and got slammed back down. That's bearish. This is bearish. That's bearish. If you're thinking bullish at this point, I don't know, you must be on Elliott wave or something. I don't know. And okay. Qs are up on the day, showing a little relative strength. Okay, well, the pattern doesn't look very enticing just because this is green. It doesn't mean it's positive, meaning a bullish pattern. Jiggles around here, nasty bar down, a reversal. It's got to be a topping tail over here. Yes, it is. And so now, look, the longer it stays down here, all right, the greater the probability it's going to continue to go lower. Because now this move down, wash and repeat. This move down created a void. Can it retrace into the void? Can it make a double bottom? So on and so forth, and whatever. That's the factory work. Patterns repeat, right? Just happen over and over and over again. Sometimes they look a little bit different than they did the last time, but generally the foundational pattern information like retest patterns and what happened here, it all happens over and over again in different time frames. I'll give you a quick look at internals here. Those of you that read the newsletter last weekend, I don't always get it right, but sometimes it's like, holy shit, Greg, you really nailed it. I said, this is what would form this week or should form this week on this breadth internal. The idea was the market will go up a little bit and this internal will form a head and shoulders top, and that should lead to down. Now, this is what we want. And it's not because we just evil people with bearish views and want to see the market crushed. No, we're greedy. We want to see giant opportunity, meaning I want to see this come down here. And I want to see the wrong way option traders betting that the market is going to crash. And breadth is down here. And then we're going to wash and repeat the pattern of let's look for this down here, right? Or wherever things are going to set up, and we're going to buy things showing relative strength and so on, and look to make a lot of money, right? But looking for an opportunity that has the potential to move up for several weeks, right? Not several minutes, right? Which is what this is about, right? Here's an opportunity. And this is all great too. But if we can get this alignment, historical alignment of internals down here and this weekly chart following through down here into an area of support, and then get this kind of bottoming tail bar, historically, that is what happens. So we don't have crystal balls. We don't know the future. We just know the past and what should happen now based on what is. All right, Qs, bearish, 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 bearish. Go down. Russell holding up a bit better, kind of up, down, nasty bar down yesterday. Looks a little different, but it's still bearish. Sell setup and so on. Dow, taking out the low. It led the way up and it made a higher high. It showed relative strength. Now it's showing relative weakness. Now it's below the low, and we got a nastier weekly bar. Take it down. Bitcoin, right, big down bar. Sell set up on the weekly, should go lower. Let's see if, we talked about 30,000 a couple of weeks ago. We got here's a retracement. All right, let's take it down. Crude oil, finally. Now, what did I say earlier in the week when this bar formed? Don't go down under the low, because that is bearish. You get a big wide range bar. It's supposed to repeat, stay up here, go higher. Maybe could have went to 100. And so now we've got a failure and we've got a top. So the same thing here, right? It's not the same, right? This isn't an uptrend, but right? It made a new high and it came in. It made a new high and it 100% retracement back down again. Look at the weekly bar. It says oil should come down. The market should come down. Bitcoin should come down. We've got alignment here. Now we see if it actually happens, or it's like, hey, surprise, it ain't working this time. But right now, everything says it's working. Silver, wow, recovered from a red bar. See, this was a big recovery. This red bar was supposed to be ignored to a certain degree, and it marched right up. That's bullish. It's really common sense, right? This said that was bearish. Okay, it'll go down. If it stays in the lower half, that's bearish, so on and so forth. It recovered the whole way. So if we're looking at, this, right, kind of example, if we're looking at this red bar and this week was a green bar right back up again, we'd have to question our belief that this is going to follow through lower. Rather, we've got a topping tail bar. Gold led the way up. Now it's stalled. And transports, kind of a ugly looking little topping thing there, right? With a new high. Right? It doesn't jump out as a head and shoulders, right? But it kind of is, right? You can see it. And we'll see if that now follows through lower. Your VIX set an alert at that pivot high, set an alert up at the area of this pivot high. And you know what? Just to keep everything honest, set an alert down here. Not that, look, we think it's going down, but we always have to have two scenarios. Even though I believe it's going down, well, if I see things are retracing up and the VIX comes all the way back down here, hey, it ain't happening. And, keep an eye on financials. Right? This had retraced all the way back up here, and now it's failing. So anybody that thinks like that there's a bottom here, show me what supports that belief. And we're happy to look at it, but I don't find anything. And Norbit's saying, I don't use Fibonacci, but if I invert my chart, it's bullish. That's a good thing. Yeah. Did the 30-year and 20-year bond yield invert? I don't think so. So if you look right here, right, this is the 10-year. This is the 10-year, 20-year bond. I don't know that they get a quote on that. In e-signal anyway. But this is the 10-year and this is the 30-year. And you can see this number is lower than that number. So that's not inverted. And you can see, but see this numbers here? See how close they are to each other? The 5-year and the 10-year? That's what I showed you. No, we reviewed that in the advisory letter over the weekend, but we looked at this in MT Live. And that's one of the things that we looked at was yield curves. So anyway, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. Happy Zero DTE Day. With the gap up before it got slammed, which I don't know, I think it might have been on Russia news again. That's saying the market always climbs a wall of worry, and that's exactly correct. How often does somebody say, "Oh, it's all 100% clear blue sky sailing, just bullish"? 100% bearish. Well, we got bond yields, we got meetings, we got economic reports, we got inflation, we got Russia going to open his mouth every time. We got Musk tweeting about Bitcoin. There's always something. But I was hoping that we had an inside day, and then we would be pounding the shorts on Monday or Tuesday rather, because Monday is the day off. But I said yesterday to the close, because of the power move down on the 15, I said I have a total bearish bias for today, provided we don't go over 50% of yesterday's bar, as Greg talked about. And that's why I think the retracement MT Live that we do is just one of those top 5 topics. It is just so incredibly important. But I got a bearish bias here. I posted a number of bull and bear trades. Here, what's the short that I had? I gotta put that in a window. Oh, bottom right here, laser. Gapping down here. Did I lose my gap? No. Yeah, laser. So this is a, kind of a descending triangle, whatever, but it's a nasty downtrend. I saw it gapping down earlier. I don't see my pre-market gap anymore. Oh well, we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, let's go through. There's a big list here. Let's see our opens. The one that's in danger, we did an earnings one on Roblex. It's $1 in the money here. I was hoping I'll keep a tight view on it, but this is a bearish chart, so I'm not going to be rolling this one. My goal is for it to bounce and let's get out at a small profit. That would be ideal. MU, we were just looking at yesterday. It's not earnings, but I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm very, very bullish. Wow, I remember the times when MU was just lagging. And wow, something happened here in October. Got his mojo back. Of what? Roblex, Dexter? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. Could be 5-10 minute low. I don't know. HIB, bearish downtrend, call spread candidate. Some of these gaps are so big though, we're not going to get any. All right, there's our laser. We just looked at keys. Keys bearish. That's kind of a bear flag. Look at this. Momentum move down, counter trend. Debbie, if you're here, this is a bear flag. It's a counter trend, 30-degree consolidation and a downtrend, and you got bearish weekly chart. So that's a call spread candidate, detective. LCID. Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah, that one will use 30-minute low. Yeah, so let me go ahead and post right now. LCID, move stop. That looks so good yesterday when we entered it. 218. Glob. Nice gap breakout. Why am I not seeing my pre-markets here? All right, if I don't see any pre-market prints, then I don't trust it. But if this was gapping up, well, okay, just set an alarm. It has to get over yesterday's high. So that one's not a tier, it's a bullish gap, but it's not tier 1. It has to get over yesterday's high. Dropbox, call spread candidate. 68 bullish gap. So see, this is a shock. This is a pro gap shock. So I'm putting that in a window. Here, I'll just put it right here. CGNX. I mean, that's a shock pro gap right there. Now this one's flat, light volume, delete you. Intel call spread. It's, this was a trading range and a downtrend. Now it's breaking down. Appin 55. It's gapping resistance. We'll come back to you. TDS. Well, you know what? I don't see where it's gapping. The weekly and monthly, if it can break out, it's kind of an inverse head and shoulders on the weekly. And then that's some room, 2250, 23. We'll come back to you. Yeah, Roku, But when the gap's so big, tell me what you all are thinking. David and Jay, what is your bias on Roku? If you asked me, here's my bias. 30-minute high, selling out of the money put, 0 DTE, just because the gap's monstrous. Yeah, if it's 0 DTE, detective, sure. Can't tell where you're gapping, deleting you, Aspen. Now this was a very bearish pattern to go down, but it's gapping up. There's no pattern here. I have no idea which way this is going to go. We'll come back to you. Legend. This would be a great 1, 2, 3 for Tuesday. Look at the sell setup. Yeah, I got this prior low, but still, you got a beautiful sell setup there, top and tail. S wave 157, gap into resistance. We'll come back to you. QDEL, same. VTR, I can't see the gap, but it's a buy setup on the weekly. Tesla. Yeah, but detective, I mean, yeah, the pattern is fine, but you know, I have no friggin' idea what the juice bar is going to be. SKT, that's sloppy potential bottoming pattern. Redfin also getting whacked pretty bad. That's gapping down so bad. That also, my bias is 30-minute high, 0 DT put spread. AEL, it's just going sideways. Run, it's a bearish, that's a bearish descending triangle. Look at TAN, that's what where Run is part of, solar. So did you notice real quickly that Run is weaker than this? Because this one bounced more. Look at Run, that's a dog. That's like ready to fall off the cliff. I'm gonna put that in a window too. Thomas, Mo, Mighty Mo. Ooh, oh no, that's O. Yeah, that would be a fantastic 1, 2, 3. I hope we get an inside day, and then I will put that in the weekend letter. CAG is sloppier. I like Mo better. Where did I leave off? Run. Hassie. No pattern, you're gone. Well, actually, I'm going to leave it. You know why? Nah, there's better. GDIN. All right, so this one had earnings, and it's a Climo. If it can take out yesterday's low, it says it's gapping up 15 cents under yesterday's low. This is a great 0 DTE. 0 DTE call spread. Look at that. See, I couldn't tell where it was gapping. And the opening print is down a couple bucks. But you can look anyway. Dunking, that's sell setup weekly, bear gap down. That's a call spread on a bounce. Shack, wow, there's so many getting whacked here today. That's gapping in the middle of no man's land. I have no idea what to do with that. Deer, now it's a deep retracement into this bar, no interest, and it's too far away for a call spread. Now pets, I posted over the high already. I'm going to set an alarm, 2665.